Well, welcome back in, everybody, to another, what's going to be an exciting, informative edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, and we've got a wonderful, wonderful guest for you today. Someone that I haven't talked to in a while, and so happy that she is making the time to come on the show. And you're going to learn a lot, especially if you're thinking about, and you should be, about fitness, and you know how important fitness is in the golf swing. So we're going to learn everything there is to know and give you a chance to meet this young lady. Weather here in Las Vegas is a little cool. It's blowing like hell outside, so if you don't mind layering up and you don't mind hitting into the wind, you could go out and play, but I'm taking a pass on it because I don't like 25, 30 mile an hour winds on the golf course. Just not my thing. And some other big news happening in golf. I guess we got the waste management thing starting up this week in Phoenix, which is a raucous party. And some news about Tiger Woods. Feel very badly. It seems that his mother had just passed away a couple of days ago, but she had a hell of a good life. She, I don't know, was upper 80s or 90 years old or something. And I read where Tiger is getting back with his ex-wife, which is kind of surprising. They've been together a while, and they've got two kids. So we wish him the best in that, even though the odds are not in his favor. People who are married and get divorced and then get back together again, the percentage of them staying together is very, very low. But of course, we wish Tiger the best. Let me tell you a bit about our special guest, Karen Palacios Jansen. Karen is a certified personal trainer, and she is also a Pilates instructor, a Nike Golf performance specialist, and is the creator of Cardio Golf, which is available at cardiogolf.com, and I highly recommend that you check it out. She is also the director of instruction at Cardio Golf online studio. We're going to be talking about that. In addition, she's an LPGA master professional and a top 50 golf fitness professional as deemed by Golf Digest magazine. In addition to everything else, Karen has her own golf events company called Swing Blade Enterprises. From 2016 to 2019, Karen served as vice president of LPGA Professionals. She also is the former managing editor for Golf Fitness magazine. So she has been and remains quite busy today. So she's got a lot on her plate and a lot going on. So without further ado, let's bring up our special guest, Karen Palacios Jansen. I'm going to call her KP. Karen, thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been a while since we have chatted, and so happy to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is fun.
It's going to be fun, and we appreciate you. Let me kick it off this way, Karen. First, how did you get involved in golf and then changing lanes, so to speak, getting into the world of fitness? How did that come about?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, so I started golf when I was very young. Actually, my dad and I started golf at the same time. My dad is Mexican. He came here to the United States when he was 30, and he's a doctor. He was an intern, and someone told him, if you're going to be a doctor, you need to learn to play golf.
Play golf, right.
So he's like, he didn't know anything about golf. He's from Mexico City. So he took the whole family, and we all learned to play golf together. So I really got serious with golf when I was about 12 years old. I remember having these Patty Berg clubs. I think they were made by Spalding, and they were the pink and they were wood. And I remember hitting a shot when the sun was going down, and I don't remember seeing the shot, but I remember the feel of how I hit that ball right on the sweet spot and the screws because they were wood. And I was 12 and I knew that I was going to do something in golf. I didn't know, if I was going to play professionally, but I just knew that I loved golf. So I've been playing golf for a long time. I played high school golf, I played college golf, and I've been teaching almost my entire career out of college. I played a little bit on some professional tours, but I've been teaching golf since I've been about 23.
Wow, wow, that's that is Patty
And
Berg. Boy, there's a name from the past, huh?
right, amazing. One of the founders of the LPGA, and the LPGA is turning 75 this year. So that's kind of exciting for us.
Yeah, that is that is, and uh, there's some wonderful LPGA players today, and I always ask when I have people like you on that are in the position to know, because you know a lot of these people, you've probably helped a lot of these people, Karen. The American LPGA Tour players seem to not dominate anymore. Do you think that's ever going to come back? And what do you think the reason for it is?
Well, I think first of all, the pool of women golfers is very small. So, I mean, now golf is more worldwide, and yes, we are going to come back. But what happened was a few years ago, um, the the Asian players started to be more predominant, and they started to put money into their programs.
Right.
And then the European players would come over and take advantage of our golf teams. So, the entire world kind of caught up to the United States. Well, forward 2025, and the United States is actually developing a national team program. So, in the next coming years, you're going to see a lot more younger players from the United States
Yeah,
come back into prominence, and it's going to all even out again.
I
So,
think so. I
you know,
think
maybe,
so.
uh, maybe it seems that we don't have a lot of American women that play golf, but we actually do. We have quite a few American, and our number one player in the world is American.
Right, exactly right. Yeah, but I think you're correct in what is going to happen. But yeah, I'd like to see it get back that way, because you look at the leaderboard now, Karen. With 10 names on them, maybe two of them are American players, and it used to be just the opposite. But I think that's going to happen.
Mhm.
The people that come to you for help, Karen, how do you assess, or what do you use to create a specific program for them? I would imagine their physical well-being is one, their state of health is two. How do you manufacture a program for them?
Yeah, that's a good question. And in the beginning, you asked me how I got into fitness. And golf and fitness are very much alike. Maybe when we were younger, when I was younger, not my goodness, but when I was younger, they didn't really advocate fitness per se for golf.
Right,
They might have even said lifting weights will make you bulky and stiff.
right.
So they didn't really advocate this. But when I started teaching golf, a young player named Tiger Woods, you were just talking about Tiger, started to win tournaments, and he was really the one that advocated for golf fitness. I mean,
Uh-huh.
Gary Player before him, but
Yeah,
Tiger was really the one that made it
yeah,
popular.
yeah.
And we saw that golf is a physical game, so you can't teach somebody without looking at their physicality. So going back to an assessment, we'll take people through a battery of tests to test their flexibility, their mobility. We'll find out if they have injuries. I mean, that's the most important part of the game, because you can give people a tip and it might be, swing smoother. But if they're physically not capable of making a turn or extending their joints and muscles through full range,
Right.
they can think all the great thoughts in the world, but it's not going to work. So,
Exactly
so
right.
the golf swing is very physical. So you can't really say that golf and fitness are separate because they're really together.
Yeah, they are intertwined, 100%. I agree
Mhm.
with you. And one of the other benefits, not only does it help your game, does it help your swing, but it helps prevent injuries when you go out and play. And that is very, very important for people to know. Karen, stand by. We're up against a break. We'll be right back very shortly with our special guest, Karen Jansen. So stay with us. We return right after this.
The youngest golf CEO in the country, Carter Bonus of Spectrum Golf, preparing for his second annual Autism Awareness Golf Tournament and the anticipated release of his first book, Swinging Beyond the Spectrum. At just 13, Carter has overcome multiple trials and celebrated many triumphs. Now hear his moving story told in his own words. The book Swinging Beyond the Spectrum, How Autism Became My Superpower on and off the golf course, is on pre-sale now. Buy the book and get a free t-shirt. Register today for the golf tournament or sponsor it. Go to cartersspectrumgolf.com for details.
I'm Dennis Silvers, host of the 19th Hole Golf Podcast, asking each and every person who plays golf, beginner or seasoned player, what's the most important club in your bag? Chances are you'll get a lot of different answers. There really is only one right answer. And if you guessed your putter, you are 100% correct. Just ask any professional golfer, man or woman who plays on any major tour. I am very excited to announce that Zebra Golf, one of the game's most iconic putter brands, has made a long-awaited return to golf's retail marketplace with the launch of their milled series that feature 4 new putter styles designed to suit even my putting stroke. All putters, like golf clubs, are not created equal. Zebra mill putters are now offered in your choice of 4 awesome models, 2 blades, 1 mallet, and 1 higher MOI Fang design, with adjustable weights available to help customize your putter. All come with a mid-size grip for enhanced feel. So, if you want the one club that's going to lower your scores, why wait? Go to zebragolf.com and put one in your bag today. The only thing you've got to lose are strokes. All right, everybody, we are back with Karen Jansen. And Karen, what's the biggest commonality of problems, physical problems, that golfers experience? I'm guessing it's back issues, and I might be wrong, but that's my best shot.
Yeah, that's a good question, and you probably are correct. It just depends on the player, but my dad's a doctor, and he has a friend that's a very famous back doctor, and he said to me years ago, he's like, "Do you have any back problems?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he goes, "Well, you will." So if that doesn't tell you anything about the back, and so yes, the back is very vulnerable, and the golf swing is probably not conducive for backs. So yes, I would say that's probably one of the problems. Most of the time we see a lot of rounded shoulders, a lot of
Yeah,
tight hamstrings and hips because people are on their devices all day. They're driving in a car, they're
right.
sitting. We see a lot of tight hamstrings and hip flexor issues because not a lot of mobility is happening, lack of mobility and that lateral side to side because, think about it during the day, we're always going forward or backwards. We're not really going side to side. So, I see a lot of different issues like that. But I would say, it depends on the age group. The older age group, the 55 and over, probably mobility
Yeah.
strength issues.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. You know, Karen, it seems to me, and I might be wrong, but women golfers seem not to have nearly the amount of physical issues that men face. Am I right or wrong?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say in my experience, I'm not really sure about that. I wouldn't say, if you think that it might be because men swing at a little bit higher
Yeah,
speed,
yeah,
so maybe they have more issues because they put more strain. But,
yeah.
I don't really think that might be the case, especially for the people that I teach.
Okay. And what do the people that you teach come to you for? Everybody is so crazed with distance today. Is that what people come to you for? I'm not hitting it far enough, Karen, or how come I'm not getting more distance on my drives and this and that? What do you see your people coming to you for?
Yes, I would say that's one thing. What we hear a lot as teachers is, people come in, they're like, I'm not consistent. I don't hit the ball the same every time. And unfortunately,
Well, who
you're
does?
never going to
Yeah.
be, nobody is ever going to be consistent because the game is, it's just not a consistent game because you don't have to hit the ball exactly the same every time. In fact, every single shot is different.
Right.
So you can't really rely on a swing that's going to make the ball go the same distance every time. So instead of consistency, we want to make sure that people know what their tendencies are so that they can correct as they go along and learn to be fluent and learn to hit different shots instead of just having a cookie cutter swing where they hit the same shot
Right.
every single time.
Right. That's well said, and I agree. I agree with that totally. Uh, I know I have some male friends who play golf that are taking Pilates classes, and they are all in on that. They love it. Can't you just stretch, get a good stretching routine, and basically kind of do the same thing?
Well, that's a good question. So I'm a Pilates instructor. I'm a big advocate for Pilates. So Pilates differs than just stretching. Pilates actually incorporates strength, especially in the core area. So when you're doing Pilates, many of your friends might be doing it on what's called a reformer. A reformer is a special Pilates machine that where you lay down and then you have a couple of different attachments where you can stretch and strengthen your upper body and core. So it is a little bit different than just doing some static stretches. You're actually physically improving your core strength, physically improving your range of motion. So Pilates is just wonderful. Pilates was actually developed for men. And then,
Really? Huh.
so yeah, it was. So Pilates was developed by a guy named Joseph Pilates, and it was developed during, I'm not sure which world war, one of the world wars. And he invented a couple of devices to put on injured soldiers' beds. So he had some contraptions where the guys could hold on to the bar and do pull-ups
Yeah.
in their bed, or they would attach things to their legs so they could do leg exercises while they were recovering. So after the war, he developed this machine called the Reformer, and his studio was next to a ballet studio. So all of the ballerinas would come in, and then it sort of became sort of a dancer's workout. But it was really originally developed for men.
Interesting. That's a very interesting piece of history for that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'd like to get the machine because the last time I went into a Pilates class, I got laughed at because I was wearing tights. And they kind of literally laughed me, out of the class. So this way I could stay home and, just knock my,
Yeah.
just knock.
You wouldn't have to get out of bed. You could
That's
just
exactly
have to
right.
sit there, do your pull-ups there, right? You watch
That-
TV and do your
Yeah,
exercise.
that's very, very interesting. Having played some professional golf in your career, how did that help you to become, do you think, a better instructor?
Yes, well, so I'm very empathetic to players. Golf is very frustrating. It's very physical. It's very mental. It's very emotional. So, unless you've experienced playing in a tournament, you don't realize like what kind of physiology your body goes through.
Right.
Being nervous, being excited,
Yeah.
being happy, being sad. I mean, you go through all the different emotions. So, learning to be a tournament player is not just hitting the ball down the center of the fairway and making putts. It's learning how to manage the whole game. And if you're a professional golfer, uh, it's learning how to manage your whole life on the road. So,
Right.
I had a lot of friends that were fantastic golfers, but they just couldn't handle all the stress, the
Yeah.
travel. So,
Yeah.
if you've played a little bit of tournament golf, you can be a little bit more empathetic when you watch these guys and
Sure.
they miss a few short putts or they don't have a good round because you know that it's just impossible to play good all the
Yeah,
time.
right. Exactly. That's one of the great things about the game. I tell people you're never going to master it. It just nothing but, getting out and practicing and play, or maybe more lessons and stuff. But that's what I think. That's what makes it
Mhm.
great. Let me switch gears a little bit, Karen, and ask you, how did the cardio golf slope come into existence? Because I think that is a great training aid. And by the way, do you use training aids of any sort when you're teaching your students?
Yes, I use a lot of training aids. I love training aids. My studio, I'm just doing this in my little office today, but in my own fitness and uh, indoor simulator. I love training aids because training aids help people get into positions that they might not be able to do on their own.
Right,
So you don't want to rely on training aid, but it helps people get feel because sometimes you can tell them something, but it doesn't make sense. When you put a training aid on them, they feel it
right.
and then they can kind of keep it their own. So, cardio golf is a golf fitness program that I developed to combine golf and fitness. I used to work at the Jim McLean Golf School at Doral in Miami when it was down there, and you have all these people from the north would come down and take lessons in the middle of January, and they would take lessons and then they would go back to New York or the north wherever they were from and not touch a club until April or May. So I had one guy one time tell me, he's like, this is great, but I'm going to forget what we do. What can you do to help me? So this was
Exactly.
way back. We didn't have cell phones or anything like that. We just had a big, huge, like VHS camera, and I stood in front of the camera and I created a whole routine for him to do, a warm up routine, stretches for golf, exercises to help him improve his mobility and strength, and swing drills. And he had this little 45-minute routine and he would do it all the time in his apartment in New York. And one time he called me and he's like, "This is great. I'm doing it every day, but I'm not allowed to do it in the apartment anymore because I broke the chandelier." So he was practicing indoors with a full club. So that's sort of when my ideas kind of got flowing, and I developed some equipment so that people could practice indoors. And it started with the shorty club. It's a short practice club. The club is short so that you can swing inside. You're not going to hit the ceilings or the wall. And then I developed the cardio golf fit slope. It's a curved step where you can practice the uphill and downhill lies.
Uh-huh.
Think about it, Dennis. On the practice range, the practice ranges are completely flat.
Yeah,
But
you
when you
don't
get
have
on the
that,
golf
right?
course, you never have. Right. So I teach a class now where we each have our own little station with the fit slope and the shorty club. And we go through a battery of exercises where we do strength, mobility, and then swing drills, practicing uphill and downhill lies. So that's how that equipment came to be.
No, that's great and very, very useful. And you're going to need that obviously when you play golf. That's very good. And where do you find that? Is that shopcardiogolf.com?
Yes, cardiogolf.com, and just click on our shop. You want to
Okay.
see what it looks like? You want to see what it
Yeah.
looks like? I have one right there.
Yeah.
Let me show you. So here's the fit slope. So
Great
you can see
size. Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I don't think you're gonna be able to see me, but you can stand on it And with the shorty club, you practice the uphill and the downhill lies. And because it's curved,
Right.
it's like nature. And think about it. In nature, you're never on a completely flat lie. So when your foot walks in nature on a walking path, or if you're hiking, your ankle has to stabilize.
Yeah.
It makes your core work harder than if you're just walking on cement. So it's a great way to get some extra core work
Right.
and recreate what we do in nature.
Right. No, that's a very, and you can actually hit balls with that, right? If you use a longer club, a
Yes.
regular length club, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can take it to the driving range, and I have a new piece of equipment coming out. I'm calling it the Fit Wedge, and it's a half of slope. So you can take it to the driving range, and you can even hit some chip shots and learn how to hit down. Because a lot of people scoop the ball when they do some chipping. So I have and that's coming out in the spring.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. You have really turned into a little entrepreneurial person. That's great.
Well, I had to develop some of this equipment because it didn't exist.
Right.
So I had to come up with it. But
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of that, before we take our next short break, Karen, because we're up against a hard break, quickly, what separates cardio golf from all of the other, or the many other golf fitness people that are out there?
Well, so first of all, I'm a golf professional and a fitness professional, so I combine the two. Not to knock anybody down, because I love all the fitness programs, but a lot of the golf fitness programs, they're just fitness people. So
Right.
they've never played professional golf. They don't know how to teach golf. They don't really have the swing positions, so they couldn't really diagnose someone's golf swing or help them with their swing. They would have to send them to a golf person.
Right.
And then a golf person might not have the fitness ability. So I have both. So I would say
both.
that's
Yeah.
probably what distinguishes me both from
Yeah.
anyone else.
So
I'm
you're
able to do both.
you're kind of a one-stop shop.
Right. I am, yes.
Yeah. All right. All right, Karen, stay right there. We're up against a hard break, and we will be right back more with Karen right after this. Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers, host of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers, here to tell you about a product that's improved my game, Poptical sunglasses. Unlike ordinary sunglasses, Popticals are collapsible using a unique rail system that lets you easily store them in their protective case. They offer crystal clear vision, UV protection, and are scratch resistant and water repellent. Made in Italy, they look great on and off the course. Plus, Popticals come with a 2-year warranty, a 30-day return policy, and make the perfect gift for the golfer in your life. Visit popticals.com for more info.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
All right, we are back as promised, and we have more with our special guest, Karen Jansen, who is a golf fitness expert among many, many other things. But I get the feeling, Karen, and you've written a number of articles that you like writing, don't you?
I do. I have a degree in broadcast journalism, so that was one of the things that I studied when I was in college. And so yes, I do. I enjoy that. I enjoy creating content. I like all that aspect.
Yeah. How do you know, or how do you pick what you're going to write about? Because with today's golf publications, and there are so many, I mean, I could learn how to supposedly not come over the top 6 different ways in the same golf publication. So how do you clarify stuff like that?
That's a great question. What I try to tell people about the golf instruction and all the tips is, you gotta kind of take them all with a grain of salt. Something might click for you,
Yeah, right.
whereas that same tip might not work for someone else. So
Right.
it's all great. We're all kind of saying the same thing, but just like news, I remember they said if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead. So a lot of the time, an instructor or a golf publication will write something in a controversial way to get people's attention. But then
Right.
if you really look, excuse me, if you really look at what's happening in the article, it's probably a fundamental
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
thing, but they're just trying to say it in a controversial way to get people's attention.
Yeah. Do you find that a lot of your students, I don't know, basically overestimate their ability, and that kind of holds them back a little bit from progressing?
I wouldn't say that, but I would say they underestimate how hard the game is. They, the pros make it look so easy.
Yeah.
Um, you know, uh, the golf manufacturers kind of try to sell us on that this club is going to make this game super easy.
Right.
The golf instructors are like, use this one tip. So I don't think they overestimate their ability, but I think they underestimate how hard the game actually is.
Yeah.
So my husband is actually a good example of what you're talking about. Olympic gold medalist Dan Jansen. I don't know if you remember Dan. He won a gold medal in the Olympics. So he's world class at speed skating. He held 8 world records, and he plays golf. And sometimes he kind of gives up, and I'm like, well, why would you do that? And he's like, oh, I know what it takes to be good at something because I worked my butt off. So I'm not going to do that with golf. So
Can't tell there's no shortcuts with this game, honey. Yeah.
right. So he knows what it took to be good, and he's like, I'm not going to get there, so I'm not going to stress about it. Whereas other people stress about it because they're
Right.
like, why am I so?
Yeah.
So most people think it's a mental thing, and it's not. It's physical. It's just a hard game
Yeah.
for people to get good at. The golf professionals are super talented. They're super human beings, and they practice and work at it.
Right.
So you have to have that whole package.
Yeah, there's no shortcuts to the game. Speaking of your husband Dan, so I was going to ask you how much golf he plays with you, but you've got a company with him called Swing Blade, and you do
Correct.
different events. What kind of events do you do? How do you put those together?
Well, so we came up with that name when we got married. We watched a movie called Sling Blade. I don't know if you remember that with Billy Bob Thornton, and we were going to incorporate for a business, and we came up with that name: Swing for golf and Blade for speed skate. So the name of our company is Swing Blade. But so I do golf outings. I'll take people on golf trips. We'll do golf retreats.
Nice,
So that's where that
nice,
came from.
nice. All right, so why don't you do a retreat out here in Las Vegas?
Oh, that would be great. I have done a couple of them. I just haven't, after COVID, that travel went away, and then golf kind of exploded locally. So I've just been here in North Carolina doing my thing, but I'll definitely
Yeah.
think about coming out.
I mean, everybody likes coming here. We got some good golf courses here and stuff. They'd have a great time. I could help you
Hmm.
set that up. Love to have you come out.
That would be great. I'd love to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so what's on the horizon for you? And if people want to get a hold of you, if they're interested in getting, and this is a a subscription product to do your online stuff. Tell us about that, and how do people join? How do they get a hold of you if they have questions?
Sure. So cardiogolf.com is my website. And during the break, I grabbed my little shorty club to show you. So see, it's short. It looks like a kid's club, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's short so that you can swing inside. And it's a great tool to have in your office while you're waiting for a phone call or an email to go through or something to practice. I tell people it's better to practice 5 minutes every day than to wait till you have 2 or 3 hours at the
yeah,
end of the week. That never
right.
happens. Those long sessions, you never get that much out of them. So put your hands on the club every day and get some good swings in. You'll be ready to go for the weekend. But cardiogolf.com, I have a subscription. It's Cardio Golf Online Studio. And one of the things that I have is a weekly workout. So you literally, Dennis could just go, today's Thursday, you go on Thursday, and I have Thursday warm up, I have Thursday swing drills, I have Thursday strength and conditioning and stretch. So you can just go on every day if you don't know what to do, and I'll take you through the workout from beginning to the end. Otherwise, you can peruse through, and I have strength training, mobility
Yeah,
training,
that's great.
cardio, because I call it cardio golf. I have all my golf tips and instruction on there. I have a little category called neuromuscular training, and for a lack of a better word, it's kind of golf meditation. So you'll watch a 3 or 4 minute video of a good golf swing, and just watching that will help kind of incorporate a good visual in your mind, and then when you go practice, you remember that.
Yeah, yeah,
So you can do a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription. And like I said, if you don't know what to do for a workout, I deal with a lot of people that just they want to work out, but they don't know where to start. They don't want to get injured. I'll ease you into a program to help you build. And my program is seasonal. So even if you live in Las Vegas, you want to structure the plan to have different workouts throughout different times of the year. You don't always want to be doing the same workout.
right.
So, for
Great point.
example, we're off season right now. So this is the time, if you're not playing a lot of golf, maybe in Las Vegas is different, but if you're anywhere else where you're not playing golf, you should be working on your mobility and strength.
Yeah,
Then preseason, you want to start to work a little bit speed. In season, you're playing a lot more golf, so you don't need to work out as much, but you
right.
definitely need to do some post round stretching. And even if you live in warm areas, you still want to structure your program so that you're not doing the same workout all year round.
Right. Correct. Correct. Absolutely correct. Very, very good advice. Do you still stay in touch with Jim and Ledbetter with Led?
Yeah, we do. You know, Jim actually had a former instructor dinner a few weeks ago, and I couldn't go because my dad was sick. But I do, and I follow Jim on Instagram. I watch him all the time, and all of my friends that I used to teach with, we still keep in touch with. So yes, I do.
Yeah, he's a
Love all
good
those
guy.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
they're
Good,
they're my mentors. Yeah.
very,
Hmm.
very good instructor and just a hell of a nice guy. So what's on tap for you? You going to keep going what you're doing? You got a book coming out. You're going to be in a movie. What's in store for
Well, so
KJ?
I'm heavily I'm heavily involved with the LPGA education program. So we're actually I'm part of a team that teaches the teachers. So the LPGA has a fantastic program for new teachers to learn how to teach. It's called the Integrated Performance
Uh-huh.
System. So I'm heavily involved in helping train our new teachers. It's a holistic program. It involves everything from learning how to assess a person, using technology. And what I think the LPGA is really good at is learning to get to know the person. And we have a student-centered model. So teaching the student is all about what the student wants, not about what the teacher wants to teach.
Right.
So
That's a great point.
I'm heavily involved with the LPGA and training the teachers. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Last question before I let you go, do you find that you either subconsciously or something, and a lot of teachers do, they kind of teach a particular swing philosophy, maybe that they grew up with, or maybe that was taught to them? There's so many swing philosophies now. How do you know which one is right for you, Karen?
Well, that's a good question. If you take our integrated performance system, you would learn how to assess a person, to not really teach a method. We don't teach a method, we teach a philosophy. So we look at the whole person and decide during that moment how we're going to teach them. So
Okay.
when you first start out, you kind of teach the same thing because you don't really know what you're doing, and that's what you know. But as a teacher gets better, they see that they can't teach the same thing.
Yeah.
Some person might not be physically able
Right.
to make a big turn, so you have to get them to teach. You have to get them to learn with what they have, and that's what we do in the LPGA, and that's how I try to teach. I try to take the person and assess them with what they have at that moment, get them better, and then we can gradually work on their fitness to help them build a better swing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very good. That's a great answer. If I happen to end up, and I'm hoping you'll come out to Vegas with your friends, if I happen to end up in Mooresville, what's the media rate for a lesson with you?
The media. Well, I'll give you a good rate, but I'm pretty much along with the going rate of most golf instructors, but I'll give you a good one.
All right, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Anyway, Karen, I'll let you go. I know you're busy. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's great seeing you. I wish you all the luck, and we're going to get you back on sooner than later. It's been way too long, and good luck with your stuff. Remember, cardiogolf.com, and go to her store. Got some great stuff on there, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, great. Next time I'll do a little demonstration for you, Dennis.
I would love that. I would love that. All right, Karen. Thank you very much. Stay well. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Thanks.
We're going to step away again, take our last break. We'll come back. We'll close up the show right after this. The Revolutionary Power to Golf Club is helping golfers around the world continue to enjoy the greatest game of all. This amazing club requires no swing to hit shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing to hit shots, including fades, draws, low shots, as well as high ones. One incredible club does it all. Golfers with a wide variety of physical issues, including bad backs, hips, shoulders, and more, are now back in the game golfing with friends and family. Just set the club to the desired distance, and with a push of the button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. The Power to Golf Club has been endorsed by some of the biggest names in golf, and the number of golfers enjoying the game by use of our unique technology continues to grow. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Don't be left on the sidelines. Get back in the game today. Visit at powergolfclub.com. One of the perks about being in golf media is that I get to try every club ever made. Of course, like most things, some are better than others. I'm here to tell you that I have found unquestionably the absolute best performing set of irons I have ever played, and my scores show it. Let me introduce you to Grindworks, custom-fitted irons that are made to fit your game. Grindworks offers players 3 different styles of irons. You can choose muscleback irons, cavity back irons, and even blades, along with some awesome wedges. And when you purchase your clubs, Grindworks lets you choose the type of shaft you want, the type grip you prefer, and even will adjust the loft and lie of your clubs if needed. That's unheard of. So what are you waiting for? Feel the power and experience and performance of these amazing clubs. Simply go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046 to order. Trust me, your handicap will love you for it. All right, welcome back, everybody. That's going to wrap it up for this show. So for Karen, I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. We appreciate you tuning in. Hope you got something out of the show. Next week, we are trying to get one of the players that is going to be on this new ladies women's tour, the Affinity Women's Golf Tour. We had Danielle Amakapani on last week, who is the founder of this tour. We'd like to get a couple of the players on, talk about the game, talk about the tour. So stay tuned for that, and hope you get a chance to get out and play some golf. So until then, keep it in the short stuff. We will see you back next week, same time, same place. So long, everybody.